prepositions. Definition. A preposition is a word that is placed before a noun, pronoun, or verb to show the relationship between it and other elements in the sentence. Kinds of prepositions. You have learned prepositions and their kinds in the previous classes as well. Let us recall these with the help of the given table. Kind. Use. Prepositions of place. These prepositions show the different aspects of places. They indicate the place or position of something in relation to something else. These kinds of preposition include under, in, on, above, at, below, among, and behind. For example, there is a mall between the two hospitals. We lay beside the swimming pool to dry off in the sun. Prepositions of time. These prepositions are used to show when something is happening. These kinds of prepositions include in, at, by, during, for, between, on, until, since and before. For example, do you work on Monday? There will be a lot of developments in the next century. Prepositions of movement and direction. These prepositions are used to show movement from one place to another and describe the direction. These prepositions include along, towards, across, onto, through, to, etc. For example, the cat jumped over the wall. She glanced towards the mirror. Prepositions of manner. These prepositions show the manner or method in which something is done. Prepositions of manner include in, with, in a way/manner, by, on and via. For example, Keith wrote her letters in Spanish. He entered the haunted house with fear. I always go to school by cycle. She opened the sauce bottle with a bottle opener. He sent me the documents via mail. Prepositions of possession. These prepositions are used to express that something belongs to a person, animal or thing. The main prepositions used to show possession are of, with, to, etc. The house on the hills belongs to my uncle. She is the one with two braids. The Taj Mahal is the finest monument of India. Phrasal prepositions. Prepositions that consist of two or more words are phrasal prepositions. All of the prepositions given below are phrasal prepositions. Keep in mind, using the right preposition is very important, as it completely alters the meaning of the sentence if not used correctly. According to, in addition to, in reference to, along with, on behalf of, in regard to, by reason of, in case of, in spite of, because of, in comparison to, instead of, by means of, on top of, on account of, by virtue of, in front of, owing to, by way of, in lieu of, with reference to, for the sake of, in order to, with regard to. Use of phrasal prepositions. Kind. Use. According to show as stated or reported by somebody/something. For example, the work has been done according to the principal's instructions. Along with, in addition to someone or something else. For example, send your form, along with the fee, to our head office. Quick tip. In addition to is synonym for along with. By reason of. To show the reason of happening something. For example, the boss retains enormous influence by reason of his position. Quick tip. On account of, owing to, because of, due to, by virtue of are synonyms of the phrasal preposition by reason of, by means of. To show a particular method used in performing a task. For example, this is a year-long course taught by means of lectures and seminars, by way of to explain the purpose of something that you have said or about to say. For example, I get very superstitious about things like that, she said by way of explanation. For the sake of, for someone's or something's advantage or good. For example, we must stop fighting for the sake of family unity. On behalf of, in support of someone or as a representative of someone. For example, the teacher accepted the award on behalf of the whole class. In case of, to say what we should do if or when something happens. For example, in case of an error in judgment, the union leader will be held responsible. In comparison to describe how something compares to something else. For example, in comparison to other candidates, she was very good. In front of, to indicate a position or location relative to something else. For example, my car is parked in front of the house. In lieu of, to mean instead of or in place of. For example, she sent me a gift card in lieu of a physical present for the birthday celebration. In order to express purpose or intention. For example, she woke up early in order to catch the first train to the city. In reference to introduce something that a statement or discussion is related to. For example, I would like to make a classification in reference to the comments made during the meeting. In regard to indicate concerning in relation to a particular topic. For example, we appreciate your feedback in regard to the recent changes implemented in the company policies. In spite of, to introduce a contrast or to highlight something that happens despite particular condition. For example, he managed to succeed in the competition in spite of facing numerous challenges along the way. Instead of, to indicate a choice or substitution. For example, I had coffee instead of tea with my breakfast. With reference to introduce a topic or subject in a formal or written context. For example, with reference to your inquiry, we would like to provide you with more information about our services. With regard to, it is also used in same context as with reference to. For example, I am writing to you with regard to your recent job application. Words followed by prepositions. There are many nouns, adjectives and verbs that are followed by prepositions. Some nouns followed by prepositions. Some of the frequently used nouns and the prepositions that come after them are given below. Read them carefully. Noun. Preposition. Use in a sentence. Excitement. About. This was much excitement about the upcoming event. Preference. For. My preference is for comfortable rather than fashionable clothes. Confidence. In. The principal had lost confidence in a primary teacher. Quarrel. With. He had a quarrel with her friend over a misunderstanding. Demand. For. There is a high demand for skilled workers in this industry. Approval. Of. The committee gave their approval of the proposed plan. Concern. For. She expressed genuine concern for his well-being. Hatred. For /of. He developed a strong hatred for /of the oppressive regime. Neglect. Of. The neglect of maintenance led to the deterioration of the building. Affection. For. The family has great affection for their pet dog, treating it with love and care. Obedience. 2. The students demonstrated obedience to the school's code of conduct. Slave. Of. He refused to be slave of societal expectations, choosing her own path in life. Leniency. 2. The judge showed leniency to the first-time offender. Some adjectives followed by prepositions. Adjective. Preposition. Use. Respectful. 2. It is essential to be respectful to others, regardless of differences or opinions. Angry. With. She was angry with her colleague for not completing the assigned tasks on time. Deficient. In. His diet was deficient in essential vitamins and minerals, impacting his overall health. Occupied. By. The conference room is currently occupied by a team discussing the upcoming project. Greedy. 4. The entrepreneur seemed greedy for wealth, often prioritizing profit over ethical considerations. Interested. In. She is very interested in learning new languages. Beneficial. 2. Regular exercise is beneficial to overall health and well-being. Blessed. With. She felt blessed with a loving family and supportive friends. Deaf. 2. The stubborn leader appeared deaf to the concerns of the team. Adjacent. 2. The bookstore is adjacent to the coffee shop, creating a cozy literary atmosphere. Some verbs followed by prepositions. Certain verbs are always followed by particular prepositions. Read the following sentences, noting appropriate prepositions. Verb. Preposition. Use. Knocked. At. Someone knocked at the door. Listening. 2. Sophia is listening to music. Gazed. At. She gazed at the monument in awe. Waiting. 4. They were waiting for the bus. Died. Of. He died of old age. Agree. With. Do you agree with me? Agree. 2. Do you agree to my proposal? Adapted. 2. He adapted himself to the cold weather. Subsisting. On. The refugees were subsisting on a diet of bread and water. Rely. On. I always rely on you for sound advice.